Thanks for joining us. Today is August the 15th, 2014. Lots of changes happening in Medicare. Today we're going to do a brief overview of what it is that we do. We're going to find some resources that you may be wondering where to find on the site, because the reality is all the things to succeed in our business are already on the site, which is kind of why I made it. And I think you'll find success there, but I need to first let you know where to find certain things on the site. So as you have questions and you can't find something, be sure to type it in the chat window. This is your time that we can interact and make things happen. I want to bring up some content today that's going to help some existing members of the site too. So first of all, the biggest question that everyone asks all the time is, what state should I be working in? I can't answer that for you, because if I do, and I get this question about 3, maybe 5, sometimes a lot more times every single day, what state should I be working in? And it is different for everyone, because if I tell somebody to work, let's say just out of the top of my head, Alaska, everybody needs to go work Alaska. That's where we're really writing tons of business, is Alaska. Guess what happens? Alaska gets saturated. It's just overworked. We can't do that. So for that reason and that reason alone, I can't specify for you one particular state. This map is found on the website under the Medicare Supplements tab, and it's just my suggestion based on past experience as to where to work. But I'm going to give you some other suggestions on top of what's here just because of recent experience and what I'm finding from folks. And that is, the state of Pennsylvania is the 3rd largest producer of Medicare supplement contracts. Applications being written right now, doing absolutely fantastic. Indiana has always been good. Illinois is nice. They have an extra form that you have to fill out each time, which is kind of a pain, but on the e-apps it's already done for you. I like Iowa, but not many people live there. I'm also having clients in South Dakota only because of referrals from people, but they're just sweet as they can be. If you look at the number of Medicare eligibles in South Dakota, there are not too many there. I picked up Colorado because of 2 referrals that came to me from YouTube videos recently. And that was not a cheap undertaking, but I figured, what the heck. I've also got a license in Utah because of referrals. Same thing in Nevada and Idaho. But I've so far stayed out of the north part, and I take that back. I've got clients in Michigan. The challenge about Michigan is it only pays for 3 years instead of 6 or 7, like in some other states. And so you've got really compressed commission, about 28% street level with most companies in Michigan. Sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Well, here's my dilemma. 2010, some Medicare modernization laws took effect. Plan N came out for the first time. Mutual of Omaha had it as guaranteed issue. That's covered in depth on our webinars for those who want to hear more of that story. It was guaranteed issue. You could write anybody you want to. It's totally turned out to be calamitous in recent years since then for that same reason. But at the time, we could write anybody. You have COPD, emphysema, chronic, whatever, just had a heart attack yesterday, doesn't matter. We can write you on Plan N. So during that time, we were prospecting in Michigan, doing great, wrote lots of people, some sick people too, and now they're being destroyed with the Mutual of Omaha rate increases that they say they're going to stop doing, but they continue. So I've got a lot of clients in Michigan from 2010 no longer receiving any commissions on because it's only 3 years and I can't move them. But still, they call me every year and ask me to move them, and we just can't because of their chronic conditions. So if you don't want to build a long-term residual, then Michigan might be for you in marketing. Also, Missouri's okay. They've got the guaranteed issue rule once every year at their policy anniversary time, and so as a result, most companies don't want to pay you a lot of commission when that happens. So Missouri's okay, but everybody's going to be hammering these people on X dates. When is your policy renew? When, oh, I'll call you then, and then their phone blows up. Arkansas used to have a similar replacement rule in that it wasn't guaranteed issue, but they had a law in the books that said if you replace business in Arkansas, let's say somebody already had Mutual of Omaha and you're replacing them now with somebody different, AARP or whatever. If you're replacing a plan, you got half commission. It was to de-incentivize agents from replacing business or churning business for no good reason. That's since been done away with after 2010. So Arkansas is a pretty good place to write business. There's not a lot of population in Arkansas, but the people there are super friendly. And I still like Kansas, Oklahoma, and all the ones on the southeast, of course, except for Florida, because Medicare supplements there cost about twice or 3 times as much as all these other states. And the Medicare Advantage penetration in Florida is so darn high, everybody wants the free or even to be paid to be on a Medicare Advantage plan in Florida. It's kind of ridiculous. Same thing going on in California to a large extent. Now, if you've got the people that are high income in Florida, they're going to want a Medicare supplement plan. It's kind of contradictory, but I'm writing 2 plans in Florida today, both with Stonebridge, because they realize the value of a Medicare supplement, but that's few and far between. And the overwhelming majority of Floridians want to get paid to be on a free Medicare Advantage plan. So Florida's pretty tough if you want to make a residual income living on Medicare supplements. Don't use the word free if you're doing Medicare Advantage, by the way. So that basically answers the question. I can't pinpoint for you one particular, this state's going to knock it out of the park, this is where you need to be, because if there were such a state, and I put it out there, there would be 1,288 agents jumping on that in one fell swoop, and that would not do anyone any good. I do know of agents right now making a great living marketing all throughout the Southeast. I'll tell you that Texas is right now completely saturated. Everybody wants to work Texas for a number of reasons, including but not limited to, in Texas, they pay for 7 solid years. So you take about a 1% haircut with most companies because of the commission being paid at 7%, but there are agents just working Texas like crazy over the phone all day long, every day, because of the 7 years. I believe that's the reason. So moving on, our success formula is very, very simple. It's covered in almost 100 different webinars of my own, and then good webinars that I've replicated on my site, which is why you have to have a membership, because you can't just put these webinars out there for the public. They're not for public consumption. But webinars from people like Bill Ellsworth over at Equitable and Heartland National. Medico has a good webinar on marketing training, and some others that are on the site. And when they have a good webinar, I can put it on the site so you can watch it in case you missed it, especially for those that are listening in right now on the telephone driving down the road that I've spoken with that said you couldn't be here. Why is it that insurance companies think that they can do a webinar one time at one event and then have everybody else out there actually working, doing what they're saying to do in the webinar, and then they miss it, and then they don't archive it. They don't make it available for anybody in the future. I think that's just dumb. So now that I have a private, secure site, everybody can go on there and watch these things. Our formula is very, very simple. You develop prospects. How do you do that? That's always the ongoing challenge. And my business right now is in the midst of a metamorphosis from strictly cold calling to now working inbound, people calling in, and from a variety of sources that I'll get into more in the future, but mostly internet marketing and working referrals actively with the follow-up system of send-out cards. It just absolutely works. Every time I send out a postcard to existing clients, telling them of something happening, something changing, or just reminding them that a certain carrier in their state is having a rate increase. Do you know anybody else that may be affected by this? Let me help them. The phone starts ringing. Internet marketing that I'm doing includes testing with Facebook marketing, which is really working well, and YouTube marketing just in building a personal brand. And every day the phone rings, somebody says, hey, I saw you on YouTube. Hey, I saw this thing pop up from one of my friends in my Facebook, news feed. I can't believe it, and I'm calling you about Medicare. Yep. And the funniest thing is they all say the same thing. Hey, I just found you by accident. Really? Okay. But it's not by accident. It's by design. Both targeted demographics and being on top of videos that they're already watching and being in their news feed. But we'll get into more of that in the future. Coming up soon, I'm not sure to what extent I want to put the specificity behind those kind of briefings because, of course, you don't want the market to become diluted with things that you find that works. I will tell you this. A lot of the new agents that are starting are all writing to me, and you'll see one here coming up soon, that are saying what you're saying about the cold calling absolutely works. And when you can get unlimited leads coming in from your own efforts for $100 a month, what excuse is there to not writing business right now? But there are a whole bunch of different ways you can develop prospects, and if you'll stick around to the latter part of this webinar, I'm going to show you a lot of those ways that are working for me now that I'm on the ground. I've got a house here in South Carolina now in the Charleston area. If you're close by, please come by and visit. Our office is in Mount Pleasant, which is the nicer part of Charleston, and Would love to see you in person. But anyway, you develop your prospects locally, over the phone, through the internet, however you want to develop that, whatever you feel most comfortable in developing your prospects. That's the first step, of course. Then you need to qualify the people. Get off the phone as soon as possible with somebody that's not qualified. You can use it as a takeaway, which is a sales tactic. It absolutely works, but it's legitimate. It's serious. You can't spend time with people who are not qualified. So you've got to immediately qualify the person for a future conversation, even to stay on the phone with you longer than 30 seconds. Mrs. Jones, I'm really glad that you called in today to check out the new rates available for Medicare supplements. I need to stop you and warn you right away, though. Your ability to change is only available based on your health. Now, let me ask you a couple of brief health questions to see if you qualify for today's lower rates. You've got to qualify right off the bat. Otherwise, you spend all day being busy, air quotes. You got to be busy, and that doesn't do anything. We're not in this to punch a clock and work an hourly wage. That is bogus. We are here to help people that we can help, and the other people that we can't help, there's no point in spending the time, investing the time in that whole process. Eric's asking me now, and I'll address all the questions at the end, but this is relevant. Do you have a fast qualification cheat sheet chart of what kickouts, of what carriers are okay with specific pre-X? There's no such thing as pre-X with Medicare supplements, but if you're asking about a qualification sheet, I have on my desk, as I cover through about 20 of the webinars, having the health questions out in front of you from all the companies. And if you're marketing in a certain market, you know who the top 3 companies are, as covered on a webinar called Getting Started Simply. You know who the top players are in that market. You should know, and you should have their health questions right out in front of you, so that when you plug in the person into the quote engine and you see, oh, you're 74, you're a non-smoker, and you're a female, here's what the rate would be with the top company. Let's pull out those questions and see if you qualify. That's step 2. The first step is, this is based on health. You can get qualified based on your health to change. Let me ask you real briefly before we get into specifics, company specifics. Let me ask you briefly, in the last few years, have you been hospitalized a whole bunch of times, or have you had a heart attack, stroke, cancer? Are you diabetic, and do you have COPD? Heart attack, stroke, cancer, diabetic, COPD. That's the same with all the companies. So you can get into more specifics once you narrow down which company it is, but if you just do that right there, you'll eliminate 95% of those that are not going to qualify. Have you had a heart attack, stroke, cancer, diabetes, or COPD? If they've got diabetes, that does not eliminate them. You need to get into more specifics. You need to raise the red flag. Are they doing 80 units of insulin twice a day? You're out. Are you doing just a pill? You're taking metformin and it's diet controlled with your pill? You're great. You're great with most companies. So that asks for more questions as you go forward, and you need to read the underwriting guide of your top 2 or 3 carriers in your market. But just asking that question, look, I want to give you this rate reduction. However, it depends on you. The ball's not in my court, it's in yours. Can you qualify? This is only available to people who are healthy right now. Biggest thing you'll hear right at that point is, wait a minute, I thought with Obamacare there are no more underwriting questions. Well, that doesn't affect you. We'll talk about Obamacare's impact on seniors in a minute, because that is foremost on their mind right now, and you need to have a comeback to it. Well, how is Obamacare affecting me? So we'll cover that in just a second. But right now, that does not affect you on the underwriting side. It is still health qualified. So, okay, good, Rebecca. You do need to come over and visit. Qualify, then present the solution to them. I suggest doing it in a screen share, because it tripled my closing ratio when I came up with this process in 2008. No one else said it could. They said, no, you can't sell that stuff over the phone. Really? Bet me. Came up with a screen share method, then added the HD camera, then added the signature method, which we did on PDF documents at that time. That was replicated through everybody that stole it in the industry. That's great. Good for you. Now, you don't even need a signature. With almost all of the companies, Stonebridge is the last holdout, and we're working with them. I'm on their little committee to check out and preview and, what do they call it, beta test their new e-app, which should be ready next month. It looks great. It's on the iGo platform, works just as well as the one with Aetna that they just rolled out last month, and it's working really well. So as soon as Stonebridge is in the game, it's going to be awesome. And I have to write a Stonebridge today, and really dreading doing that paper application because it's a PDF thing again. So you present the solution to them and then ask them for the close. Now, if you don't present some kind of urgency, if you just leave it out there, okay, we'll just file this away, just knowing that we could save you $80 a month. No, you've got to present some kind of urgency with the rates. The rates change. They modify about every quarter. They could go up a couple of pennies. They could go up $1, whatever. If you lock in the rate now, you're locking in not only the rate, you're locking in your health. And I often tell the story of however many, I mean hundreds of people over the last few years who we quoted them a rate. They didn't do anything. We followed up with them. They did not do anything. 6 months later, they called back saying, I had a stroke or I had a heart attack now, and I need to get a lower rate because I'm really worried about what's going to happen with my insurance going forward. Guess what? You can't. The only way you can do that, get a lower rate, is when you're in good health. So you've got to create the sense of urgency or no one will close. You'll just be an information dissemination brokerage firm instead of a brokerage firm that helps people. The way to do that is to give them some kind of urgency. The urgency must be, look, we can lock in the rate, but we also must lock in your health. Now, if your crystal ball is working, Mrs. Jones, and you can tell me that you will be perfectly healthy 62 days from now when you decide to take action, great. Let's just put it on the shelf and not do anything right now. We'll just wait and let you pay more $88 a month than you should for 2 months. That's fine. What I suggest is that we take an application now and lock in your health today. And we also lock in this rate. It can't move for 12 months. Biggest objection at that point will always be, ooh, you mean this rate's going to go up? Well, let me ask you, Mrs. Jones, has your rate gone up? Yes, it has. All of the companies go up. They go up all about the same rate. What we can do for you is become your broker, actively involved in saving you money, so that when the rates do go up, we can go back to the marketplace. See, if you put all your eggs in one basket with a Blue Cross captive agent or a Humana captive person or Bankers Life captive agent, they've only got one plan. So when the rates go up, guess what they do? They hide from you. They don't answer your calls. We hear it every single day. I can't find my Bankers Life agent. He's just fallen off the face of the earth. No, he hasn't. He's out there knocking on the door of the next turning 65 senior. See, the only person that can help you after you sign that first application is an independent agent. That's what we are. We're independent. So yes, all the rates are going to go up. But if your rate's going to go up starting from $250 that you're paying right now, or $180 that I suggest, let's reset your rate back to $180, okay? So all the rising tide raises all ships, right? Well, let's start your ship way back there at $180 like it should be. That's what the market allows today with the same exact benefits that you've got right now. Then, after you close that deal, the fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. Write that down. It's a quotable quote. The fortune is in the follow-up. It always amazes me to find out when you're talking to these people, oh, who is your agent right now? I have no idea. Guy just wrote an application, then disappeared off the face of the earth. Wow. He really speaks well for the insurance industry, doesn't he? The fortune is in the follow-up when somebody says, you know what, I just got a rate increase on my Medicare plan. I can't believe this Mutual of Omaha is doing this to me. Oh, you got to call my guy. My guy, Chris, oh, he hooked us up. Between my wife and I, saved us $160 a month. Same benefits. Doctor doesn't care. Same thing. It's awesome. So I strongly suggest that you put your name in front of these people multiple times, and the best way that I found to do that is through send-out cards because it's automated. You put their name and address in there and hit fire, or not fire, you know, send. But you fire off that campaign, and you're the hero. You're in front of them all the time, and that's a great way to be. Top of mind is what they call that. And if you're not top of mind, when the need comes up, guess what? They're going to go shopping the market all over again, forgot all about you, and that's nobody's fault but your own. So I highly suggest following up with people. It's not just enough to write them one policy. What good does that do? You need to have a relationship with these people so when they need something else, and my clients call all the time, hey, let me ask you a question. My son just lost his job and he needs some individual health insurance. What am I going to do with him? Or do you do car insurance too? Do you do life insurance by chance? One of my first clients here in Charleston said that. Do you do life insurance? Well, let's talk about that. What do you have? What do you need? And all that kind of stuff, which leads right into the cross-selling positioning. The way you get into the cross-selling is, first, you're top of mind. Secondly, you deliver to them what you promised that you'd deliver to them in the presentation of the savings. If you want to cross-sell annuities and add another, $300,000-$400,000 to your annual income, the best way to do that is walking in the door with a Medicare supplement check in your hand saying, oh, you didn't know you were entitled to $1,000? Here you go. Hold out your hand. Here's your $1,000 refund for letting me shop the market for you. I mean, essentially, that's exactly what we're doing. We're handing them a $1,000 check. Maybe your check that you can find them is only $500. That's all we do is go around giving money away. There's no way to become their trusted advisor that's better than giving them money that they were due, that they didn't know about because they didn't shop the market. I'll show you that in just a second. A statistic on that will blow your mind. So cross-selling becomes very easy once you follow up after you've made the sale. As part of your follow-up campaign, many of you have seen my Send Out Cards campaign. Happy to send it to you. It's under the benefits section of membership. And one of the campaigns, when I send them the approval card for either New Era, Cigna, or Equitable, they all have different follow-up sequences in there. One will say, by the way, we also have a CD-type annuity, or it didn't mention the word annuity. We can earn you 3% guaranteed on your money if you have money earning less than that in CDs, something like that. And the other one talks about, by the way, do you know that you can qualify for up to $25,000 in whole life? Very simply now, we can do that for you. And every once in a while, just the automated follow-up campaign. Well, hey, tell me more about that thing you sent to me. Lastly, after the cross-sell, we need to work on referrals. That needs to be an automated follow-up system. And again, I use Send Out Cards for that because it does all of these things for me automatically. And I'm not trying to pitch you on Send Out Cards. If you're not using it in your business, you're missing out is the politically correct way to say you're an idiot. You've got to follow up with these people or else you're leaving money on the table, money that you could spend to feed your family, go on vacation, build your business, and invest in more prospecting. The only way to do that is through an effective follow-up campaign. We're not a transactional agent who just does one thing like 90% of the agents in the market do. Oh, let me get your signature. Oh, I got a signature. I'm done. Run down to the bank. Go out and spend it. You're done. No. Become a professional if you're not already. I beseech you, make our industry stand above the reputation of the past. Don't become a one-hit wonder. Go out there and follow up with these people in a professional way so that it reaffirms what they did. Now they're comfortable telling someone else what you did. You've got tangible proof sitting on their mantle with a picture of you or a picture of your card or your dog or whatever saying, you made a good decision today. Here's the savings that we brought you. And then 3 contacts later, that last card says, who else do you know that we can help and make you appear to be the hero? So all 3 of those things are done automatically as it should. Total time investment in this entire box right here, 60 seconds. Put their name, address, and I put their phone number. In your referral system, I use Send Out Card. You can use whatever you want. If you've got an assistant, secretary, receptionist, whatever, that's going to do this system for you, follow up, automatically ask for cross-selling opportunities, at least make it available, expose it to them after you've done what you said you're going to do, and then gently prod them about referrals. Somebody's asking me, is it HIPAA compliant to send a card to a prospect? Yes. I can send them anything that I want to send them unless I'm sending out to the newspaper their health conditions. Yeah, it's HIPAA compliant to correspond with your existing client. Absolutely. Now, if I'm asking them to write back to me all of their health information on a pre-printed form that's on a postcard that's going to be out for the public to see, probably not HIPAA compliant. My cards are just telling them, thank you for your business. You chose New Era Life. Your premium is $123.82. There's no HIPAA even consideration there. HIPAA is about health insurance protection, health insurance privacy protection, and none of this has to do anything with their health on my card. So then what do? We build massive residual income. That's the whole point here, folks. We build massive residual income. So if you have 1,000 clients on the books, that should translate, and it's more than this, but this is very, very conservative. If you have 1,000 clients on the books and they're between the ages of 68 to 74, you've suddenly built $20,000 worth of income coming in your account by direct deposit, whether you roll over in bed or roll out of bed. It doesn't matter. That money's coming in. It's residual income. One of the questions that most agents ask me is, well, do I get paid based on all these companies having these rate increases that go in every year? You know, they'll raise the rates 2% or Mutual of Omaha 24%, whatever it may be. No, you don't. Even more of an incentive for you to stay in front of your clients just once per year and say, hey, your anniversary's coming up. Let's shop the market. Anything changed in your health? It really makes me sad every month that I do this, because I find out from my clients, yes, I just had a stroke. I'm recovering now. I'm going to be okay. Or those people can't move. Thank God you got them for a 6-year stint, and thank God even more that they are guaranteed renewable. They can never be canceled or singled out for cancellation because of their health condition. That's okay. I would reassure them, hey, it's okay. No one can take your policy away from you. That's the best thing. I'm just checking on you. But for those people who are healthy and they experience a double-digit, which is insane, double-digit rate increase from their big carrier, even one that maybe you put them with 3 years ago because they were saying, hey, we're great, we're going to send you a cool coffee mug in the mail. When you reshop the market for them, guess what? Let me give you a little scenario here, okay? Let me turn on the little pen. And this just happened to me, so this is why it's fresh of mind. So you originally write somebody at $140 a month. Let's just say 72-year-old female. You wrote her on Plan F because she insisted on it. All of her friends and her dead husband told her Plan F is the only way to go. And rather than buck the system, you know, the old saying, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. They will not listen to you. So some people just won't, and they insist on Plan F. Well, here it is now 2 years later, right? And now she's up to $167 on Plan F. Same Plan F. You wonder why she's got such a big rate increase? The hint is in the Plan F, okay? She didn't take my advice. That's okay. I'm still getting paid commission based off of 140 2 years later. Her rate, though, is now 167. Guess what? I proposed to her, let's go to 152 with a new company, let's say New Era, Philadelphia American, one of my favorite companies. They're now in the market. They're very conservative, so now the rate can be 152. She says, that's wonderful. I want to go with 152. So now I'm saving her $15 a month, $180 a year. She's got to do a one-time application fee, so her net savings is really $160. Okay, not a big thing, not anything to write home about, but look at what it does for you. You're saving her $160. Now my commission has a step up in basis based on $152. So if I'm earning, you know, whatever it is, let's just lowball it, 17%. And let's see, 2584. So now I just added $2.04 to my monthly residual income based on this one client. And better than that, I've reset the clock for 6 more years. Or in the case of Texas or Indiana, I've reset it to 7 years. Or in Michigan, I've reset it to 3 years, which is very, very important to do. In Michigan, you got to reset that clock as often as you can. So you've reset the clock for, in most cases, 6 years. You just added $2 a month to your residual income, and guess what? You have a new opportunity for following up, cross-selling, and referrals. All because you followed up with the person and you're not a schmuck that did a one-time transaction. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal when 2 years later they've gotten a rate increase. You knew they were going to take a rate increase, and you're their friend, you're their advocate. Get your name top of mind again and let them know that there is a solution. You're going to shop the market. First question, as always, qualify, qualify, qualify. Hey, Mrs. Jones, I'm just checking on you. Just want to make sure everything's okay with you. Your policy working out great. Oh, you got a rate increase? Really? Well, how's your health doing since the last time we talked? Anything significant happen? Anything changed? No? That's great. Let me look in the market and see who's got the best deal right now. Look at that. New Era, one of my favorite companies, is now in town, and their rate is only 152. Your rate increase went up to what, 167? Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, look, I've already got all your information here. Let me just type up this application real quick. I'm going to go over it with you. Same benefits you've already got right now. Same plan, same doctor, same hospital, same everything. We're just going to go ahead and lower that rate for you down to 152. How does that sound? Oh, that's wonderful. Great. Well, here's the terms of it. Here's the rate. Here's the application fee. And New Era is going to call you to verify the answer to 5 health questions. Let me go over them with you real quick. They're real easy. Total time, 10, 15 minutes maximum. We've reset the clock for 6 years and added $2 a month of residual income for that particular client. Is it worth following up with them? I'll tell you it's worth following up with them for no other reason than the referrals that you get just from calling your clients back. The referrals that you get are awesome. It's free money. So with that, the success formula is very simple. Add prospects to your system. However you like to prospect the most. I'll tell you, even if I was starting off today, brand new, knowing what I'm learning and teaching myself about internet marketing, all the people that I'm studying, all that good stuff, I would still say the best way to do it if my son were starting today. Get on the telephone and start having calls with people, having conversations with seniors. Find out what questions they're asking. Find out what their concerns and their questions are, which I'm going to go over some of the top ones here in just a minute for you. But you need to get yourself out there and, as they used to say, get bloody a little bit. You know, when you go to work for Bankers Life, all they do is sit you down in front of a phone with a list of turning 65 prospects, which you can get anywhere, and say, good luck, go to it. Now you're going to earn 50% of the commission your next door neighbor, the independent agent's going to make. Now you need to go call these people, knock on their doors, and chase them around town. But you can do so much better by being an independent agent. You are not confined to a box of one-hit wonder product, and that's it, and trying to avoid people when they call you when their rates increase. So qualify first, present your argument to them, create urgency in here, let them know it's only as good as their health lasts, and we can lock that in for them if we take action now. Same plan, same benefits, same doctors, same everything. It's all the same. And I cover this on many, many webinars here about showing them on a visual with the screen share, the HD camera and all that. It's covered in many webinars here. Show them the Medicare and You guidebook. Show it to them. Philip is asking me a question about the Mac, the iMac on a desktop, and I just answered this same question yesterday in a support ticket. The camera that's on your iMac, if it's the HD camera, the 720p resolution, great, you can use that. I just encourage you not to look down at your computer. Don't have your camera lower than your face. It needs to be eye level because that's what somebody would be, and no one wants to look up at your nostrils. But anyway, yes, you can use it if it's got an HD camera. If not, the Logitech C920, which I refer to and have great detail on the tools page of the website, tools you need page, that camera works great with the iMac. It works great with all Macintosh products. So put that in there. One thing that is kind of weird if you're using the built-in camera on the Mac is it kind of shows your video backwards. So I would, and I don't know the answer to this. I've got a Mac at home that I bought and played with a little bit, let my wife have it. I don't know if it really shows the backwards video to your clients. I don't think it does. I think they can see everything perfectly. And you could show your Medicare and You actual physical guidebook in your hand on the screen to them. How do you do that on the Mac? You just show them the preview window from your software. You don't need any additional software to do that. Just show them the preview window for your Mac camera. Or, as I suggested yesterday to someone who was concerned that it may be backwards or something, just pull up the PDF document, if nothing else, of the Medicare and You guidebook, which you can find very easily at medicare.gov. Medicare.gov, search window at the top, type in Medicare and You, and it will show you that document. It's on page 68, the PDF. So this is the question that all of my clients, new prospects, everyone is concerned about. I had a client in the office yesterday with a 30-minute conversation. He came in, talk about the impact on Obamacare and what's happening with seniors. So we're going to talk about that just for a minute so you have some cogent terminology to reply back to people as to what actually is going on with Obamacare. Let's see. Just checking the questions here. No. Obamacare. Medicare cuts, how they're going to impact hospitals. First of all, the seniors are going to want to know, what is Obamacare going to do with my Medicare? Well, there's a whole bunch of studies on that. Most of them come from the Congressional Budget Office and then other research organizations, think tanks like the Heritage Foundation and so forth, that are saying that one of the first things that's going to happen is the money's going to be cut to hospitals as a result of Obamacare. That's going to affect not just seniors, but it's going to impact everybody out there. It's already in the budget that this money is going to be coming from the hospitals as it's going to be in the form of reduced compensation based on penalties. So if they're not meeting certain guidelines, certain criteria, their money is going to be reduced to the hospitals. That's the least of it, though. More importantly, this is a neat little chart that I found, and you can see all the cited sources that are underneath each one of these quotes. The estimate from CMS themselves is that 7.4 million people now, seniors, will lose their Medicare Advantage plans as a result of what's already in the budget for Obamacare. 7.4 million seniors will be losing their Medicare Advantage plans. This is from Kathleen Sebelius' own organization when she was there, CMS, projecting that's part of the plan. That was part of the plan from the whole beginning. And the Congressional Budget Office in 2012 cited the fact that $156 billion is coming straight out of Medicare Advantage for all those subsidies for people. So people ask me all the time, how is it that the government's able to pay, $400 for a family to have a subsidy? Where's that money coming from? 17% of Medicare Advantage plans that were out there were canceled last year. AARP pulled their Medicare Advantage plan out of South Carolina entirely, completely gone. They packed up and left town in South Carolina. So everybody here had to scramble, go to a junky company called Care Improvement Plus, which has barely 2 stars, and they are miserable and very frustrated because that actually happened. So let's see. Somebody is saying, you use the bogus right-wing Heritage Foundation as a reference. No, I don't see them on this slide at all, showing that there's a $437 average increase in out-of-pocket costs for seniors as a result of Obamacare. Thousands of doctors have been dropped. Maybe you've missed the news. There are class action lawsuits in 3 states right now as a result of AARP dropping thousands of doctors and hospital networks. An AARP statement from United Healthcare said that's a direct result of the Affordable Care Act. A direct result. Yes, you can print the slide, and this will be available after the replay is over. 15 million seniors currently rely on Medicare Advantage, and according to CMS, which is not, last time I checked, a right-wing political foundation, saying that 7.4 million people will lose their Medicare Advantage plans by 2017. It's in the law. It's not a question. It was part of the plan to begin with. It's part of what they already had originally planned for, these reductions. Where are they going to get the money to fund all this? They're taking it from seniors. Is that my opinion? No. It's in the law. That's from CMS's own numbers. So you mention this to the seniors and they get fired up. They already know. They've already studied it. They probably know more statistics than you do on how Medicare is going to be impacted from it. Uh-oh. Here's one from heritage.org. Oh, no. But guess what? The source is from the Congressional Budget Office. They just put it into a picture. So cuts in Medicare due to Obamacare as projected by the Congressional Budget Office through 2013 to 2022. Hospital services, we already saw on the other slide. It's in the law that they will reduce reimbursement to hospitals based on a penalty system. $260 billion in the savings that they can then generate subsidies for come from the cuts to hospitals. Payment rates to Medicare Advantage after the test program is done. They're doing a demonstration project that runs through the end of this year. That is just a demonstration project to prop up Medicare Advantage that the administration, which is the president, just came up with and said, you know what, we can do a demonstration project. That's in the law. Let's just throw hundreds of billions of dollars at these Medicare Advantage companies for a demonstration project so they can incentivize seniors to come in there. Then we'll pull the rug out from under them after 2014. They may come up with another demonstration temporary project, but right now that funding is set to expire at the end of 2014. Home health care services being cut by $66 billion. This is a huge marketing opportunity right here, folks. We're going to talk about that in a second. Home health care services, which is where people want to rehabilitate, they want to recover at home, they don't want to go to a nursing home, they want to stay at home after major surgery or a fall or stroke or heart attack. This money being cut right here is a huge opportunity for you. We'll talk about. Skilled nursing, another cut, other services, and then hospice services cut. So that's already in the law. And then this is what's happening. This happened to me yesterday with a person, and I know it's anecdotal, but I've heard this many, many times. Seniors that have been working in the workplace. Yeah, Heritage Foundation claims are bogus. I know, they're coming right from that stupid CMS organization that's run by the president. Anyway, I'm just responding to the chat window, sorry. Seniors now that have been working in the marketplace, they're working since the recession. Many of them have gone back to work because of the recession. They had to. You know, they're standing as a greeter in Walmart. They're working back in construction. It's sad how many people have gone back to work. And then just because of things like food inflation, gas prices going up, rent, and all that kind of stuff, they're getting more jobs into the marketplace. Well, those that had employer plans were granted, as everyone knows, the president said just arbitrarily, we're going to pass this law, and now we're going to say, wait, we're not going to implement the law. I'm just going to stroke my pen and say that the employer mandate is not there. We're just going to ignore that part of the law, at least for the next year. So they're ignoring the employer mandate till 2015. Now, next year, the employers are going to have to comply with the law. Their prices are going to go up through the roof from every organization that has looked at this, including the labor unions, which have gotten so far waivers, but they've been told by the administration now they will not be getting those waivers in 2015. Seniors are being laid off or they're being forced out. Tell somebody, you know, you're only going to be working 3 days a week, 2 days a week, 1 day a week. Huh, sorry, we just don't need your services anymore. They're not doing it so much through mass firings. That would be highly illegal. They're doing it through forced attrition or just saying that there's no more work for them to be doing, whatever. Gentleman came in yesterday, same exact scenario, 66 years old, and he'll probably be watching this webinar because I think he's going to be working for me. But anyway, they're getting the pink slip. Guess where these people are going? They're Medicare eligible. They're over 65. They had A and B parts of Medicare. They got it when they turned 65. They're now all dumping into the Medicare market now. All these people up here, they're coming down into the Medicare market, guaranteed issue. You've really got to watch the post that I've got on the site called Guaranteed Issue Considerations before you spend a whole lot of time on these. Because in most states, with most companies, these will pay you nothing in commission. Well, $25 one time, nothing in commission. What this is doing is it's dropping all these people into one plan that they can get guaranteed issue. Plan F. What's that going to do to the rates on Plan F? Now, imagine, Plan F generally has this flow of people coming in, natural flow of people that are 65 years old, turning 65 crowd. Turning 65 crowd is going into Plan F, right? Naturally. That keeps level all the rate increases. Well, pretty level, medical cost inflation notwithstanding. It keeps the rates pretty level because you've got these young, healthy people all coming in to Plan F. What happens when all the people who are 70 years old, they have chronic diseases like heart attack, stroke, cancer, all those things that they've been living with their group benefits, now losing their group benefits, now they're dumping into Plan F right now. Guess what? They can't get Plan G. Nope, can't get it. They can't get Plan G unless they qualify based on health questions. That's just the way it is, the guaranteed issue rules. I don't write them. Government wrote it. They get Plan F guaranteed issue. Plan G is still going to be riding high with turning 65 people who have good counsel and seniors who are smart that talk to Chris Westfall. So you've got these people up here that always have to qualify on Plan G. So the rate increases are going to go stable on Plan G like they always have been for a variety of reasons, but this new reason right here, the impact of seniors dumping into Plan F that are older average age than 65, and they have more of a likelihood to get chronic conditions as they're coming in. You know, about last year I did a webinar on, I had a slide from Canada about the average age of disability. And I mean a chronic condition that leads a person to no longer be productive in the workforce. And you should see that scale if I could find it. It shows a huge bell curve, and at 75 years old is the maximum time that somebody is first impacted by a chronic illness or disability. So obviously, as you're leaning towards the 75-year-old rate, people are going to be that much more prone to being in a chronic condition there. So the rates on Plan F, or let's see, Plan G is going to be stable, right, because it's still going to be health underwriting and smart agents that put their people there. Plan F rate increases are going to start going higher and higher, faster and faster. Good opportunities for us to educate people on the benefits of Plan G, but the biggest question you're going to be asked today is what's the impact of Obamacare? On Plan F, it's going to be bad. On Plan G, it's going to be stable for now, all the other changes notwithstanding. This is a slide from United Healthcare, which I despise. I used to be an account executive, by the way, with United Healthcare. Worked out of their Orlando office to launch Florida with them in 1990. What was that? 95. Most people don't know that. I actually worked for them, and now I can't stand them and don't write them at all on their Medicare side. All kinds of interesting things here that they put out from United Healthcare. Mostly, this is kind of interesting. On the top right, it's talking about what people don't know. Most seniors have no clue how Medicare works. That's interesting. And 1 out of 5 said Medicare is confusing. That's bogus. I think 5 out of 5 have told me it's confusing. They don't know where to start. But I want to focus on this one little thing here. Try that again. Still got my ugly writing in there. Anyway, the only thing that I think is very interesting here is 62% of seniors have never shopped for Medicare coverage. They just took the first thing that happened, first thing that came to them. 62%. This is our market. They need to understand, which they don't, that all these plans are exactly the same. That's our mission, to get in front of them and let them know that they can shop the market, they can save money, and it's going to be good. We'll talk about those guaranteed issue compensation things here in a minute, Rebecca, Dave, and Adam. So I want to give you some sales tips today that I think will totally change your business, because it's one of the reasons why I'm getting incoming calls here in my new office in Charleston. You might want to take notes on this. Yes, you can get the replay later, but it's much more fun to take notes and make it a to-do list. If you live in a community that's outside of a greater Central Florida area, which is where I was before, and you can market Medicare supplements in your backyard where you live, if you live one of the red states or one of the states that I marked up as being good, really doesn't matter where you live as long as it's not Florida and California or, you know, downtown Richmond, Virginia, that kind of thing. You can use these tactics right here, because it's not just advice that doesn't work. This is what's happened in my business and the business of the agent that I'll share this with you. First, let me share with you what Bill sent me last night. I blocked out your phone number, Bill. Aren't you proud of me? I blocked out your phone number with a color that's similar to the same color as the rest of us here. Anyway, Bill's getting calls from this sign that he put on the back of his car here. That sign looks super awesome. And he got it from a place called Sign-Is-On. And my friends that work with me on the life insurance niche have always touted putting signs on your car, and they get calls on them. They do. They get calls on them all the time. Yeah, I got your website there, but not the phone number. That's pretty stupid. Excuse me. Anyway, you should have a sign, I believe, to draw people to you. Now, can you use the logos of these companies without their permission and all that kind of stuff? No, probably not. They'd probably be mad about that, but unless their compliance person is driving around and sees it, I don't think they're going to know what's going on with it. Boom. Check that out. Did you see that little move there? I just blacked it out. It's been edited in real time. That's cool. Just to preserve your privacy just a little bit. Oh, I missed another one. Boom. There it is. Anyway, I think this is a great idea. Bill wrote this to me yesterday, sent me a picture of what he's put on his car, along with a quote that says today he got his first commission check. He's a brand new agent with us, and he's happy about that. And I think with this, people are going to be calling you a lot, especially coming up in the annual election period when everybody thinks that's the only time that they have to go out there and change their Medicare plan. So this will be good for you. Uh-oh, I lost my question box. 1 second as I regain that. 1 second, please. I've got some other things in here that I think you'll really like. Where did my questions go? All right, there they are. There we go. All right, moving right along. This is not the agent that I'm working with, but I did meet a local agent here. I encourage you to get involved in local networking groups. You can find them on meetup.com. They have one called Greater Business Networking that's in South Carolina. It's a new thing. It's just like the BNI group, Business Networking International or whatever it is, where you can get together in a group and you'll be the only Medicare agent or the only health insurance agent in a particular networking group. And they're growing all over the place. But in my local group, there's a guy, Josh, who works there, and he doesn't work there. He works for State Farm, and he comes and he talks, and they give 60 seconds to go around the room and talk about what your specialty is and what you do for people and all that kind of stuff. And his speech, he talks about homeowners insurance, real big on homeowners insurance, and he told people that, you know, they can also save money on flood insurance. People need to get flood insurance and all that kind of stuff. Good for him. So I had a conversation with him after the meeting recently, and I said, Josh, what do y'all do for Medicare business? I'm just curious. I know what you do. You shared that with us. What do y'all do with your Medicare people or people that are senior age that don't know what to do? He said, well, the girl in my office that does health and life insurance, she doesn't do any Medicare stuff. She just gives everybody this phone number of this old insurance agent guy, and she never knows if they sign up with him or not. He never thanks her or reaches out to her or nothing. She just gives them all the business. What if I paid her for every lead that she gave me? What if I incentivized her for every sale that was made? Check with your local compliance department. What if I took her out to lunch and shared with her how we save people money and share with her how she can be the hero and I can refer people back to your agency for their other stuff? Because they're asking me all the time, even local people, do you do car insurance too? I'm just paying too much money. I highly encourage you, by the way, that relationship is in place. I highly encourage you to get with your local property and casualty people. If you deal locally, go to your agent first. Establish that relationship. I just got this from Dave. Dave C. I never got into BNI until 2 months ago. I have had 15 referrals since. Great place. Wow. That's awesome. So get with your local property and casualty guys. Randy Murray, a really old gentleman from a small town in Georgia, was a life insurance marketing genius. And Randy told me a long time ago, and this was just talking about selling life insurance. This was 2007. Randy told me that you got to have bird dogs. And what he meant by bird dogs is you need to go out and find property and casualty people that don't do life insurance and get on their list to pay them $50 for every lead. Just tell them, give out my cards, put a code number on there. When people call, I'll ask them what the code number is, and I'll come in and give you $50 in cash every time. And it worked for him. It worked for hundreds of other agents. So get with these people. They're already dealing with people asking about Medicare insurance, and they have no idea where to go, especially in October, November, and December. They're asking all over the place, can you help me with my Medicare too? Can you help me with my Medicare? And you need to be the go-to guy or girl. I'm telling you, it's free money waiting there for you just by asking. Just by asking. This is one that made a sale for me yesterday. A couple, husband and wife. She's turning 65. He's losing his job. Both of them were referred to me by an elder law attorney. What I did is I went to all the local newspapers that are here, and they've got one called Senior Today magazine. I got the Senior Today magazine. I'm reading through it, and also I advertise in there now, but it hasn't done any good. I think print advertising is really dead. Dead, dead, dead. Don't pay to be in a newspaper. Biggest way. Anyway, sorry, I hit the mic. So print advertising is absolutely dead. No question about that. That said, there's an elder law attorney that has a full-page ad. They're not great marketers. Full-page ad inviting people to come to learn about veterans benefits, Medicaid, estates, trust, planning, blah, 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 and all that. I called the lady that was running the seminar, and I said, I'm new to the local area, but I've got hundreds of clients in the market here, and I need to find a resource that I can point my clients to when they need these things done. They definitely need trust set up. Some need estate planning, and some are veterans. So I need to establish a local contact person. I need to learn more about what you do and who I can refer to you. Is that okay? She said yes. She's about 30 years old, and she does elder law stuff. I went, sat down with her at her office, and I said, please tell me what you do. So she spent about 30 minutes, and I said, what's your philosophy on annuities? What's your philosophy on life insurance? What's your philosophy on trust? Should everything be in a trust? I just let her talk. Great. Got to know her, made a lot of notes about her, and I said, well, here's my card. This is what I do. I just save seniors money on their Medicare insurance. They don't know they can shop the market as an independent broker, and I represent everybody that's here, and we can save them money. Average savings is about $800 a year. It's free. Our service doesn't cost anything. If you know anybody this could help, that'd be great, but I'm going to refer people that I know that need your service to you, and just want to let you know I'm here. My office is around the corner from you. So my phone rings. Lady says she's turning 65. This is a week later. She's turning 65. They don't know what to do. Husband's losing his job. Can I help him too with his benefits and all that? So great resource. She told me that she only had one person that she knew in town that did Medicare, and all they write for is, drum roll please, they write for Aetna. And Aetna is about 5th down the list where I am as far as competitiveness. Well, if you're over age 80, it's great. But for now, we have 5 or 6 companies that are better than Aetna that I can write for. And so when I show her a printout, oh my gosh, why would you want to refer to one agent that only does Aetna when you could do so much better by offering company A, B, C, D, E? Here's the Medicare book. You know it says all of them are the same. So anyway, establish a relationship with one or many elder law attorneys. Now, you will recall a couple of months ago, I did an interview that's on the Medicare replays, on the webinars replay page of MedicareAgentTraining.com, where it was an interview with Jenny in Texas, who gets nothing but inbound referral calls from local financial planners using this very tactic. And the interview with her, she goes in great detail about how she does it. She just goes in and tells them she's the Medicare expert. She doesn't charge anything, and she wants to complement their agency by fulfilling their Medicare obligation to these people, which is part of their financial package. These people don't want to be bothered with that. Even the people that are insurance licensed that are financial planners, they don't want to be bothered with that. So go out there and establish these relationships locally. Most of you won't, but those that do will make free money from these people because they want to give you the referrals. This was told to me by my friend Eugene that's right down the street. He's actually in my building. Eugene shared with me how his brother-in-law has made a lot of sales based on agedleadstore.com. And he's buying leads for, he was buying 1,000 of them, so 15 cents a piece down the bottom right, if you can't see that, way down at the bottom. 15 cents a piece for people who are, and you can sort them based on age, so you're looking for health leads that are over 65 years old. And there is a tactic to getting this done, and this is where I mentioned earlier about the home health care and how that's going to help you in your prospecting. This is really cool. So get the leads for 15 cents each. These are people who have replied within 86 days or longer. They've replied in your area. You can pick your county. You can pick a specific zip code. You can pick the whole state if you want, but you're going to get people who were legitimate repliers to online leads. And this is what you say. We're just conducting a survey to make sure you found what you were looking for when you were on our company's website looking for Medicare help, I guess it was. Did you find a company you were looking for? Some are going to say no. No one called them. Some are going to say my phone blew up. I had 500 calls within 24 hours, and I didn't end up going with any of them. I was just so frustrated. That's what I'm hearing over and over again. And others will say, yeah, you know, we picked Cigna. We went with Cigna. We're pretty happy with that. That's awesome. That's great. Let me ask you this question. Who do you have your home health care policy with? Who do you have your home health care policy with? To what? My what? Your home health policy, you know, when you're recovering at home and Medicare doesn't pay for it and you need somebody to come in for therapy or respiratory therapy or to change your dressing and all that kind of stuff. Do you have somebody that lives with you that's going to work with you around the clock on those kind of things? No? Oh, they don't want to change diapers and Band-Aids and all that, or help you when you're recovering from a surgery or something major? You don't have a home health care policy? Have you heard of all the changes going on with Obamacare with that? You know, they're cutting $66 billion out. No, it's million. $66 million out of the funding now for home health care. You've really got to know how those changes impact you. Look, there's a very inexpensive thing that could possibly solve that for you. I'm going to be in your neighborhood anyway because I'm right here in Somerville. Are you available tomorrow between 2 and 4, or would next Thursday suit you best? That's the next time I've got available. I'm just going to drop off this information to you. It'll probably save you a fortune if you ever needed it. But who do you have your home health policy with? I did a webinar about 8 months ago about an agent who added a trainload of commissions from asking that question right there. And the policy that he's selling, it's a door opener, it's a loss leader, but you still make money on it. This policy is ridiculous. Check this out. Probably talking out of school, I should let Eugene teach a little course on this. The policy pays $300 a day in certain categories, you know, like $80 for rehabilitative therapy and $60 for, you know, respiratory therapy, whatever it is, but it adds up to a benefit of $300 per day on this little policy. It's super easy. It's almost guaranteed issue. There's like no health questions on it at all. So basically, are you in a home health care situation right now? Are you in a nursing home right now? No? Okay, great. And this is a great alternative to long-term care, which 6 companies in the last year have pulled out of the long-term care market. They're just not in that market anymore. Cost too much, too many people going on claim. So no one's in the market, and those that still are, the underwriting is horrendous, and the cost, you can't even afford it. And guess what? Seniors, and this is based on longtermcare.gov, look it up, it's a government site, says seniors want to recover at home. Seniors want to rest and die at home. They don't want to go to an institution. So if they have a policy that's going to pay for somebody to come in and take care of them in their home, much more attractive to them than doing a long-term care policy that they can't approve, they can't get approved, they can't afford it, and they don't want to go to an institution anyway. So this particular policy pays $300 a day for benefit. The premium with most ages is around $305 per year, which is ridiculous. And guess what? If they have prescription drugs, if they take prescription drugs, the company reimburses them $25 as an indemnity benefit just because they had a prescription filled. Doesn't matter if the prescription cost them nothing, if it was free. Doesn't matter if they had a $4 copay or what. The company reimburses you $25 for each prescription that you have filled per year, up to a maximum of 12. So if you have 12 prescriptions filled during the year, and a lot of people do the, you know, I get a 90-day supply of my blood pressure medicine. Well, if you change that 90-day supply, which is one fill, you change that to 12 monthly fills at $25 each reimbursement. They'll either reimburse it every time you have it filled, you just send them the receipt that you got it, you got something filled, or wait till the end of the year and send 12 of them in at a time. They refund you. That's not a refund. That's not a right term. Excuse me. Strike that from the record. They pay you an indemnity benefit of $300 maximum for the year. So if you take a premium of $305 and you get claims back for $300, what does that home health care policy cost you for the entire year? $5. Is that insane? Jim's asking me if it can be sold over the phone. No. Old school company, really old school product, huge door opener, can't be sold over the phone, has to be a paper application. I don't think you have to be face-to-face. I'll ask Eugene on this. Actually, I can ask him right now. He's down the hallway. I think you can do it through the mail. Hang on one second. I'll get that answer for you because that's pretty important. Mail or face-to-face only. It's a concept that sounds too good to be true, and I think when you're face-to-face with somebody, like the Age Lead Store, and you're presenting to somebody over the phone, hey, who do you have this with? And you get there in person with them, if this is, I mean, this is how Eugene does it, okay? I'm just telling you, it works with all of his agents that are here. Yes, it's Kemper. As you can see on the bottom of the screen, this is how to find the webinars that cover what that agent was doing to prospect and covers the policy and the application and all that. This address at the bottom of the slide right here, if you type that in, it's medicareagenttraining.com/?s, which means search the site for Kemper. Or you can just go to the webinars page, and in the search boxes at the top, type in Kemper. You'll see all the benefits about that plan, how to sell it, and all that kind of good stuff. So anyway, it's a great door opener, and they get in the home and they sell them this policy because it's a, duh, why wouldn't I take this policy, right? So if they take any prescription medications at all, it's a slam dunk. You've got to do it. At least present this to them. And you can print out, what Eugene does is he prints out longtermcare.gov talking about people want to recover at home. The statistics is somewhere in the 70 to 80% range of people that will have a home health care type claim or would have used a claim policy just like this between the time that they're 65 and the time that they die. So overwhelming majority of people will need a policy like this, and if they're willing to pay $5 a year to have the protection, why wouldn't they? And the commissions are pretty good on it too. So anyway, this is a great way to prospect with aged leads. The commission on this plan, I can't tell you. It depends on where you get it from. If you go work for the company captive, they pay you more, but you can't sell anything else. So agedleadstore.com, you can get the leads for 15 cents each. You can get 1,000 of them for, what is that, $150. That is a great way to generate money right away, and the company pays you pretty quickly, about within a week. It's a very good thing to do. And as soon as I get that answer back from Eugene on whether you can sell it through the mail, I'll let you know. So basically, those are some ways that you can generate free leads right now. You can use a sign on your car. I think it's pretty cool. You can even get a magnetic sign from vistaprint.com. But this sign that Bill did, I think, is phenomenal. Looks very, very professional. I didn't ask Bill, if you're on here, if you could let me know, did you design this or did they design it for you based on what you told them? It's a very sharp-looking sign. I just hope you can see out your back window. And State Farm, this is not just State Farm, but get with somebody that's doing property casualty local. And State Farm, as big as they are, I can't believe they're not in this market. And was it North Carolina? I had a prospect tell me last year they were with State Farm's Medicare supplement plan. That's crazy, but they're not competitive at all. Here come the questions. Bill said he designed the sign. That's awesome. Great job there. I'll get to the questions here in just a minute. So elder law attorneys, get with them. The questions are coming in, so I'm going to get to them. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just seeing them come in. And then 15 cents each for age leads, and that's all better than prospecting, just cold. But you can prospect cold. It still does absolutely work. So you can watch that webinar on that. So I'm going to get to some questions here. I'm going to go back to the top. If you're going to leave us now, you can check back at the end of the replay to see what questions were asked during the webinar. No problem at all. Be happy to have you win, and if you come back to watch the other part there, let me see if I can expand this a little bit. All right, I'm reading the questions here. From the very beginning, Rebecca says she's going to be coming down. That's awesome. Let's see. What is the new supplement that was going to introduce? Well, no, it's IAP, and they're not doing anything for me. And I mentioned that before, that it was going to be kind of a non-event, and it really is kind of a non-event right now. Let me see here. There we go. Did that work? I don't know. Oh, there it is. All right, do I have a lead broker? No, I don't have a lead broker. I don't know what a lead broker is, and I wouldn't use them. Anytime you go buy leads from somebody else that they say that they're a real good lead for Medicare, whatever, I end up getting screwed on those deals because their incentive is on providing somebody to talk to, and they don't give a rip and have no financial interest whether or not you sell the deal or not. So no, I don't have a lead broker, and I'm not in the market for one because I know what that means. It means getting ripped off. Just generally speaking, let's see, diabetes with high blood pressure and cholesterol may be a problem too. It is a problem with some companies, like old school like Mutual of Omaha and their offshoot companies. It's not a problem at all with companies like New Era, Philadelphia American, which don't ask for prescription drugs and don't care what drugs they're taking or what their blood pressure is or what their cholesterol is. Actually, no company on the market asks for cholesterol. They don't care about that. But diabetes with high blood pressure, not a problem with New Era or Philadelphia American, as long as they're not doing insulin. Let's see real quick. The Mac we talked about. Adam's going to get send-out cards. We carried HIPAA compliance. We covered that. The same camera for Windows-based computers. Yes, same camera, Logitech C920. Even better with Windows. I did a webinar recently about an even better way to show your webcam using a free little program that shows your webcam right on a screen share, just on top of your screen, and that's a great thing to use. Heritage Foundation is bogus. Okay. Longer lines will be at doctor's offices, less doctor choice. Oh, the money's going to come from reducing Medicare fraud. Okay, well, good. How's that working out for us? They always say they're going to reduce fraud. They're going to find this magical pill that's going to cover all these new spending programs. I'm sure that'll happen now. I mean, it's never been promised in the past and had any problem. Is Cigna paying guaranteed issue? Only in 2 states. But for the majority of the country, no, they don't pay on guaranteed issue. They pay like 2%. It's in your commission grid. You can see from them. They don't pay the $25. They pay about 2% is the average there. Let's see. Adam says, I thought that was only if they were coming off a non-renewed MA plan and go to a SUP. All the companies I talked to in Arkansas said new to Medicare is still fully commissionable. We're not talking about new to Medicare. We're talking about guaranteed issue. Those are 2 totally different things. New to Medicare is somebody that's turning 65 or starting Part B for the first time. That's always full commission with every company in the market all over the country. New to Medicare means they can pick any plan. It's not guaranteed issue. Guaranteed issue means you had a special election period. A special election period means that something has triggered that event. You're losing your group plan. You're losing your Medicare Advantage plan. You went on to a Medicare Advantage plan for the first time, turning 65 during the trial, right? You didn't like it. You're going back. Those are guaranteed issue periods. And I cover that on the post that's called Guaranteed Issue Considerations, all the special election periods. There's a document from Medicare that covers special election periods. Those are guaranteed issue. Open enrollment, or the initial election for Medicare, that is somebody who's turning 65, that's full commission, turning 65, or they're just now starting on to Medicare's Part B. Now they have Medicare, brand new to Medicare. They can choose any plan in the market, and you get full commission on that. There's nothing the insurance company can do, and that's a window from 6 months past the time that they turn 65 or get on Medicare Part B for the very first time. What's happening with this trend of people leaving the employer plans, like I was talking about, where's that slide? Let's go gadget slide. These are people who are being terminated from their group plan and that I'm talking about have already been on, like I mentioned, they've already been on Part A and Part B. They got it when they turned 65. Hence, their initial welcome to Medicare period has now expired. So they have a guaranteed issue ticket that they can use to go to a Medicare supplement plan, and the only one that they're allowed to go on is Plan F or Plan whatever it is N. So those people, mostly non-commissionable, except in a couple of unique cases like certain states, South Carolina, they are fully commissionable. And there's one other state that I can't recall right now. Is it Connecticut or can't recall? Somebody remembers what that other state is? You can tell me. But in most states, they don't pay much, and I've got that broken down on that post called Guaranteed Issue Considerations. And a matter of fact, while you're here with me, let me show you where to find that. Medicare, I can't type now, MedicareAgentTraining.com. I'm going to go under webinar or training right there. And let's see. Are you kidding? Oh, talking about the home health policy. Nope, not kidding. Now, you can search for these webinars two ways. One, you can type it into the search bar here, and that will pull up every post, every video, everything at all from the whole site. What I do all the time, just to save time, is I hit Control F. That's Control on the keyboard, and then F, and I type in what I'm looking for. If it's in the title, then it's going to find it. So in this case, I'm looking for guarantee issue, and there it is right there, guaranteed issue considerations. The post was from March 11th, 2014, last updated. And I've got the document right here from Medicare on the guaranteed issue rules by the state. That's pretty good because some states are different on that. And then I've got the commissions from most companies right here. Yeah, I was correct. Cigna's 2% commissions for guaranteed issue. If you can't read that, I'll zoom in. Most companies are paying $25. Oxford Life is still paying full commission, and Aetna paying half commission on there. So that answers that question. So guaranteed issue and new to Medicare, totally two different things. Totally. It is guaranteed issue when they're just coming on Medicare, but they don't use that term for that. BNI does work. That's awesome. Does Plan J cover the home health care issue? Yes, for the most part. And Plan J before 2006, they had two different Plan Js. One was before 2006, and then one was after 2006, which 2006 is when the Part D drug plans came into effect. So the Plan J of Medicare was a Medicare supplement plan. You can no longer buy it. You'll find some people who are still on it from the Stone Age. It looks just like Plan F, and you can do a Google search on what is Plan J, what does it cover. It's very similar to Plan F. It did have a hospice provision that is now found in the new Plan F since Medicare modernization, so that's about the same. But it did have more coverage for home health care, and that is a consideration. If you take somebody off of Plan J, they're not going to have that home health care provision, which was eliminated in 2010 when Plan J was eliminated. So that's true. As long as they're on Plan J, if they're on the old Plan J, they have a prescription drug benefit, and they may want to keep that, even though their rates are insane. But it's a guarantee renewable plan. No one can take that plan away from them, which is nice. So that's a consideration if we're replacing Plan J. Either with or without prescription drugs, they are going to lose some benefits there, but their rates are probably, you know, $100 or $200 a month more than it should be on a comparable Plan F. Eric is asking, somebody said, just don't show up to any company meetings with their logos on the car. That's a good word there, Adam. Appreciate that. When prospecting, what is the latest time that is good to call people? And is weekend calling good for retired seniors? Weekend calling is great. I've got an agent in Kansas who calls on Saturdays and just knocks them dead, finds everybody at home. So I know weekends are great. I don't work weekends, but that's a great thing to do. I think I did do it when I was just starting 2008 and 2009, doing this all the time on the phone. Latest time to call, I think 8 o'clock would really inflame some people. Anytime around dinner time makes people really mad, especially seniors, so I don't want to do that. The positioning is all wrong. It makes you sound desperate if you're calling for business reasons outside of business. And I made the mistake one time of somebody had called me back on a lead. They called me back, and then I called them back on a Sunday afternoon, and they were flaming mad. Actually, it was an internet lead from 2008, back when they were really good. And they said, what are you doing calling me on a Sunday? Don't you know? Yeah, okay, I should have known because of the Bible Belt. They're old, that they're just traditional. I should have known better, but I did. Okay. Stewart hates everybody on the Republican side. I got that. You mentioned Pennsylvania as a good place to prospect, but it does have a no rebuttal law for cold calls. Once a prospect says no, you must close the conversation and end the call. Are you required to register with the Attorney General? And you are required to register with the Attorney General and pay a surety bond every 2 years. Matthew, that's fascinating to me. And in most cases, when telemarketing laws are instituted, like they did initially with the robocalling and stuff, they've made some certain exemptions for two different entities. One is banking and one is insurance. So I've not looked at that new Pennsylvania law about that or the Attorney General's requirement. Like in the state of Florida, for instance, if you're doing telephone solicitations, you have to have a $50,000 surety bond, and you have to be registered with the Department of Consumer Affairs and Agriculture in Florida to do telemarketing. But if you're in insurance or banking, you're exempt. So I've not looked into that and don't know if that exemption exists for Pennsylvania for insurance or not. That's a very good point. I appreciate you bringing that up. What webinar do you suggest to get a better feel for the plans F and G? There is a webinar based on plan F and G, compares the two, compare and contrast, and shows you the slides that I use to show people the difference between F and G. So if you look in the Medicare, the webinars page there, let me zoom back out, and just look for Plan F, Plan G, you'll find all the webinars where those are talked about. I'm going to do a search for Plan F, see what I come up with. Plan F and G's rate increases is covered in May 13, covered in a conference call April 24th last year, covered in another one April 3rd, and here's the big webinar from February 9th, 2013, all about the differences of Plan F versus Plan G in that webinar right there. And look at that. I showed some neat rate increase examples of companies from last year and beyond showing that Plan F had rate increases of 15%, again, the dreaded double-digit rate increase, while Plan G was just about half that rate increase. And that's not unique. This is the chart that I use, something very similar, where if you follow that kind of projection, and I use this in my own screen presentation with people, you know, I tell them if you want to be on Plan F, that's great, but two things are happening that you need to be aware of. One, people on Plan F, well, I'll go into it in that webinar, and this chart really makes the sale on Plan G. I tell them I want you to be on the blue line rather than the red line if something happens to you. I want you to get the lower rate increases rather than the big ones. But that's where to find it. It was this specific webinar, February 9th, 2013. And Scott Muhammad, that's a brand new name. I've not seen you on here before. Welcome. Do I need to be licensed in another state to call a lead in that state? Yes, you absolutely do. You need to be licensed in that state. Getting a non-resident license is a very easy prospect. It's NIPR.com is where you go to do that, NIPR.com. And depending on what it costs in that particular state, it's a very easy thing to do to get a non-resident license. You don't have to do any more education. No more background checks and all that kind of stuff. On this page called Medicare Supplements, I've got what the cost is for getting a non-resident license. Then you also have to be appointed with each company that you're going to do business with. And most of the companies now are making you pay for your own appointment fees. So if you click on this document or you click on the other document, it's going to open up and show you what those costs are and a link right here to how to get that non-resident license. Where's that found? That's under the Medicare Supplements tab under Training Modules, and you can pick a state. I've got the state breakdowns for Medicare Advantage penetration, which means where Medicare supplements are more prevalent, where the Medicare Advantage penetration is on a county-by-county level, and then also my favorite states that I mentioned here today. And then at the very bottom, how to pick a market, all the Medicare questions, which I'm going to move these to their own page for all the companies, and then at the bottom of that page, what it costs to be licensed in those states and how to accomplish that. It's all under that page there. Well, Scott, if you see this later, happy anniversary to you, 27 years. Congratulations, you just took off. What's my opinion on working real-time internet MedSup leads from NetQuote or InsureMe versus cold calling? Also, what ages would you target for cold calling turning 65 or older? I'm in Florida but licensed in other states for MedSups. Cool. Excuse me. The opinion of working real-time internet leads. I've been working leads with NetQuote for the last few months, and every year I try certain internet companies to see if they're no longer feeding trash into the market from these affiliates. When they pay an affiliate like $7 for any name that they submit to the company, then you've got affiliates out there that are incentivized to give you a whole bunch of junk, just names, random names, run contests from their website with, you can get something free, a free trip to Maui, just fill out your name here. And then they think they're filling it out for a contest, and their name is correct, but they had no idea they're looking for a MedSup quote. And that's what happened in the internet lead market in about 2012. They started going to trash. So I do have my county turned on for net quote leads, and about 60–70% of them have been completely legitimate, and I get there first. One thing that I've started doing lately, it's kind of controversial, but I've been doing it and it's working, is when you get a notification from NetQuote, if you're using NetQuote, and you can tell them about my profile, and they'll set you up exactly the same profile that I've got. Happy to do it. But on NetQuote, they will send you a text message with the name, the zip code, and the phone number of that prospect. Now, most people now are on cell phones only. So I send them an immediate quote and say, is it a good time for me to call you? I send them a quote. I send them a text message, and I tell them, I can call you right now with that Medicare information you're looking for. Is now a good time? Chris Westfall in Charleston. And that's been working. People respond to me. I'm the only one texting them. Everyone else is just trying to blow up their phone, and the first one in the door wins on that. But yeah, I think they're pretty good right now. Depends on where you are. You know, I told some agents about that, and they started using them in various areas, telling me that they're all bogus, and they're not getting good leads there. And I think that's from where the affiliates that they're using are sending them in from. If they're junk from the affiliates, then that's all the company's going to have. What webinar did you mention? SCP and guaranteed issue and compensation. I did cover that again. It's one called Guarantee Issue or Guaranteed Issue Considerations. Then you also asked, James, what ages would you target for cold calling, turning 65 or over? I like 68 to 74. That's my niche. It's just old enough to be frustrated with the rate increases, so they're receptive to my help, and they don't need any education at all on what Plan F is, what Plan G is, how does a Part D plan work. They know all that. You're not going to waste any time on education. You're going to get right to the point. Look, rate increases have been going up in your county. We're just calling to see if you're interested in letting us shop the market for you to save money on the same Plan F you have right now. You know, that'd be the opening. Some are, some aren't. So what? Move on, and that works very well. 65 is a very bogged down, very crowded marketplace where you've got all the captive shops and a lot of otherwise ambitious agents that are out there. And I'm not going to call them out, but I just had an agent who's a very successful turning 65 marketing agent, running all the time. I mean, top of the table guy. I mean, writes tons of business. Sent me an email the other day, how do you get somebody underwritten if they're past 65? So if you don't know that, you probably shouldn't be in the Medicare market. I'm just saying. Anyway, I think it's good to get people underwritten, to qualify them quickly, get referrals from a lot of other people, and your average profit per case is going to be much, much higher if you're working my demographic, 68 to 74, average profit per case, lifetime value of that client, than somebody who's 65 years old at the very bottom tier of what the premiums are available in the marketplace. Eugene has an answer for me. As long as you can get their signatures on the paperwork, you can do it by mail. I've done it by fax before. So Eugene actually works for Kemper, and that's the answer. That is an awesome, awesome deal. And he says they're going to have an iPad app sometime, and they're going to have, hopefully, online e-app at some point, too. Eric says, for an agent who is just starting prospecting, what is the latest time it did that? Wait, what is the, sorry. What is the lastest time that is good to prospect retired age 67, 74, and is Saturday, Sunday prospect? Okay, we did that. And what webinar did you mention? Guarantee she did that. Can you show the slide, quoting Heritage Foundation slide? Which one? Go back. And while we're doing that, we'll do the other questions here. There it is. What is the source? The source is the Center for Medicaid and Medicare and Medicaid Services. I'll be darned. Look, you can download the actual numbers right from the government. How dare they, with their right-wing propaganda, put such filth out on the internet? How dare they turn numbers into a spreadsheet, a chart? How do you get a copy of the Medicare and You guidebook? That's very easy. You go to, and you need to have this resource at the top of your maybe like on your desktop or something, put a, oh, I can't type today. Put a shortcut to Medicare.gov. It's always good to have it here. And you want to go to the top search term, Medicare and you. Look at that, Medicare and you. There they are. See the Medicare and you book from all the different years, and here's the one from 2014 I can see right there in the search engine. And the document is available here. Download Acrobat. Where'd they put the document? It's there. I love the government. They're just so efficient. Anyway, that's where you get the document from. I've also got it on my site, but that's ridiculous. Also have it on my website, which you should have, seniorsavingsnetwork.org. You can download it probably easier from my site than you can from the government site. Under Medicare Help, there's the book right here. It should look just like that. This is the 2013. I should update that. It was page 64 in this book in 2013. Same thing, it was page 68 in the Medicare and You Guidebook for 2014. Right here, right there. How do I compare Medigap policies? Different insurance companies charge different premiums for what? For the exact same policy. The exact same policy. Then always on an opposing page it'll show what those policies are. And you can pull that up anytime and show the people on a screen share, just like I'm doing with you. What quote engine do I use? I use Ritter most often. I do. And yes, you can do Kemper if you need to get that. Sell Medicare by Phone is where I have my contract, sellmedicarebyphone.com, and any of the companies that are listed over on the left, like this Kemper Home Health is right there. So sellmedicarebyphone.com. And I've got the video that they've got, which is really good. It's a powerful video. You can either put that on your website, put it on your laptop, and show this to people in the home. It's a very well done video about home health care. I'll show that to you as we're wrapping up the webinar today so you can actually hear it. You can also send SMS messages from Yahoo Messenger. Yes, you can do that, and you can also send it from Google, from mail.google.com. You can send SMS messages through that. Have you worked with InsureMe? Yes, I did, and they turned to junk. Last was 2012. Brett, to answer your question further, what's quote engine? I do use Ritter because of the states that I'm focused on marketing right now, and because I just got comfortable with it. The other one I use is sometimes I'll use CSG, but that's a paid subscription, and I'll use the Health Plan One if I find, and I only do this once in a given market, which one has the companies that are the top 3. So I'll look at the top 3 from Ritter, maybe the top 3 from Health Plan 1, and the top 3 from CSG, and see who's missing in that mix, and then I want to have the best ones. So if I have to go to 2 different quote engines every time for the particular area that I'm in, so I don't miss the top 3 companies, I will. But I just like the Ritter quote engine. Craig Ritter's done a lot for our industry. Can I work for your company, you? If yes, what's going to be the split in commission? There's no splits in commissions. You're paid directly from the home office, and everybody has a street-level commission starting until your average, your annual volume meets a certain threshold, usually 500,000, where you can get the MGA level, $1 million, get the or SGA, then MGA, and then FMO level. So I've got the same FMO level contracts as everywhere else, but there's no splits in commissions. And it doesn't matter who you work with. We've got people on here from SMS, the other SMS, Ritter, Gordon Marketing, Precision Senior Marketing, AmeriLife, all of those captive people are not captive. All of those other FMO people are on here too. So there's no love lost for wherever you've got your contracts. It does not matter. Let's see. Appreciate your site, and we're to see bogus news on HF influence. That's funny. Oh, that's awesome, Adam, and I do have one here in town. Not sure if it works for everyone, but I went to a local Social Security office and asked for the Medicare and You hard copy. They gave it to me without hesitation. That's awesome. With mine, I had to wait and got it from Washington. That's a great idea. Go into the local Social Security office, pick up a book or 2. When does the 2015 book come out? I don't know. The 2014 book was almost a year late coming out, so No telling. What power dialer would you recommend for calling leads? What power dialer? Probably the one we have. This is the list of the fees from the different states that I'd opened up. Let me go back. Power dialer. I recommend the one that I negotiated by driving to Georgia to get a discount. This one here. It's under benefits of membership, predictive dialer discount. Now, if this changes in the future because of anything, service-related issues, complaints with people, and all that kind of stuff, then there may be something else here that's a negotiated discount for members. But for right now, this dialer, because it's $79 for unlimited dialing, or $99 right now, as of the date of this recording, $99 for unlimited dialing with all the data that you need included. $99 for unlimited leads. You can't beat that. Can't beat that at all. So check out the things that are under member benefits. It may benefit you. Can you give us the top 5 companies that you look at? That all depends, and let me show you that webinar right now because that's critical to getting started. And this link is sent to you when you first sign up for membership here. It's this webinar, and you'll see that I found it by hitting Control F and typed in simple. Keep it simple, getting started easily. This is the webinar that talks about how to get set up on the quote engines, how to find the top companies in the market that you've chosen, how to pick the market to begin with. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. I forgot to put that on there. But anyway, this is a video to start with as to how to pick the top companies because they are different in every one area. Okay. This is a letter that was sent by Medico to all their people just saying that Medicare is not impacted right now, the supplement market. The supplements are not impacted by the Affordable Care Act. There you go. That's pretty cool. And that's found on that webinar page of Keep It Simple. It's just letting seniors know that they can cool their jets as far as Affordable Care Act and changing their existing Medicare supplement. If you have a husband and wife client already, they have 2. Ask if you can have 1. Adam, can you clarify that? If you have a husband and wife client already, they have to ask if you can have 1. Medicare and You guidebook. Thank you. They have to ask if you can have 1. Okay, I got you. I never could figure out that one. Is there a video for using that dialer software properly? You're talking about sales dialers, Ben? You should get them on the phone. The reason why I went with them is because they've got 8 people that support folks all day long. And they're in Savannah, Georgia, really friendly people. And I went to meet them and met their support staff. So get them on the phone. Let them walk you through how to use the process, the whole thing. They'll spend as much time with you as necessary to go over how the dialer works. That's why I recommended them. So absolutely let them do their job because they're very friendly, and the owner there, very nice people and willing to help our people. They do a lot with realtors on doing their cold calling. That's all for the questions, folks. If you can think of any more questions, you know what to do. Put the questions in an email. Send the email to not my personal email. Send it to the support system there at support@medicareagenttraining.com. That's the place to send questions. That way I don't lose them. Biggest challenge I have is losing emails, and I don't want to lose your email because it's very important to me. So please send an email if you have one. Send it to support@medicareagenttraining.com. Now I'm going to switch over the audio so I can show you that video about that Kemper home health policy. And I'm telling you, my friend down the hallway is writing a ton of business, and it's a great door opener for life insurance. It's a great door opener for Medicare plans, dental plans, whatever it is you want, annuities and all that stuff, by fulfilling a need that they did not even know that they had. And in a future webinar, I'm going to get those documents from Eugene that he uses right from the government to show you how big that need is and that they don't even know. Tim Odell just said, I have used them, their dialer, it works great, thanks. Awesome. Thank you everyone for being here. If I didn't cover something you need covered, send a support ticket, happy to help you. There will be hundreds of them today, I guarantee you, so please have patience with me over the weekend. God bless you all. Thanks for being a member of the site. Lots of new changes coming because we're almost at AEP, the annual election period, where everyone thinks they have to make their sudden changes now. Not true so much, but the companies do have incentives. Things change, underwriting changes, the time frames change, the expectations change. So you'll definitely want to stick around to see what the changes are as we go into the season where everyone's going to want to scramble, play that game of annual musical chairs called the Medicare game. And we're going to write probably 70% of our business written in the last 4 months of the year, even spilling into January. This is when it gets fun, and we're right about there. So stick around and watch this video about the Kemper thing. And if you need me, reach out and say hello. Thanks. Bye.
When I was young, my parents took great care of me. My mom and dad always made sure that I got everything I needed. When I was sick or hurt, they'd provide me with the proper care to help me get over any obstacle I had. Now that they're older, it's become my responsibility to take care of them. At first, this was pretty simple. I'd help make sure they had all their basic needs met, such as eating well and taking their medicines. But now, it's gotten so much harder as their healthcare needs have increased to where I can't help as much as I wish I could. I've now realized that they need better support and care than I can provide when it comes to their health. We looked at their Medicare and other supplemental coverage and found that it was very complicated to understand, and there still may not be enough coverage to help with their needs. It was really just more than I could do on my own with all of my other responsibilities. Fortunately, my parents were wise enough to purchase a Kemper Senior Solutions Home Health Care Indemnity Plan. This home health care coverage provides cash benefits when they receive care from healthcare professionals that we've chosen who actually come to my parents' home. Let's face it, long-term care insurance can be very expensive, and my parents have never wanted to go into a nursing home. Because of their home health care coverage, they may not have to, because they can get cash to help with specialized health care, and my parents don't have to leave the comfort of their own home. It's also taken a huge burden off of me. This policy pays daily, fixed cash benefits up to a maximum of $150 per day for skilled nursing care by a registered nurse, general nursing care by a licensed vocational nurse, physical therapy, speech pathology, occupational therapy, chemotherapy specialist services, enterostomal therapy, respiration therapy, and medical social services. This policy also has a prescription drug benefit that pays 80% of my parents' prescription drug costs, up to $250 per year. The prescription drug benefit gives them cash back on the prescription drugs they'd buy anyway. This helped make their home health care coverage even more affordable than it already is. Now, when we visit Mom and Dad, we get to enjoy our time together without worrying as much about their health care needs. I can give my Mom and Dad the care I'm capable of providing. But with this coverage, they can also get help at home with most of the medical support they need from licensed medical providers. You know, it seems like my parents never stopped caring for me. They had the foresight of knowing that I might need help caring for them in their later years, so they purchased their Kemper Senior Solutions Home Health Care Indemnity Policy. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Now, I'm going to do the same for my family.